One of the most poignant moments of the trip for me came, I think it was the second to the last day that we were there, almost the very end of the trip. We were driving to Tehran, and we stopped on the outskirts of the city and visited the cemetery where a lot of the martyrs are buried from the war with Iraq in the 80s. And you know, I've heard a lot about that war before, that it was a very bloody war, that the death count was just astronomical. Hundreds of thousands of people were killed in that war. But to see the graves in person, it really just drove the magnitude of the story home. We walked up and down these rows of graves where the tombs were just squeezed right next to each other, and at the head of each one there was a photo of the guy who was buried there. And to see those faces, it was really emotional for me, especially because a lot of those guys were either my age, or I'm 27 now, so I'm sure I was old compared to a lot of those guys. A lot of them were my brother's age, who was 16. A lot of them were just these boys. And to see the magnitude of it, and to think that there's literally tens of thousands of boys in the ground underneath us, it was just really emotional, like I said. And it's not an Iranian thing. It's not, you know, it's just a human thing. I'm sure if I went to the Arlington Cemetery in the United States, it would be the same thing. But just the magnitude of that loss just really struck me. And the juxtaposition of the previous 2 weeks of just great experiences, of just positivity, warmth, and kindness, and then to see the death like that, it was really powerful, and it made me think a lot about how casually we speak of war with Iran. You know, every night on the news, it's kind of like this foregone conclusion that we're gonna attack in some capacity. You know, maybe it's just a surgical strike. I fear it might be more, but we speak about it so casually, like it's gonna happen, just a matter of when. But then when you see the other side of that, for us it's a story on the news, but there it's boys in the ground. Man, it really had an effect on me. So that I'm glad it came at the end of the trip, because it kind of wrapped it up for me, and it just showed me that that's one of the messages that I want you at home to know, is that I'm not a politician. I don't know whether we do or do not need to strike. I don't know what the implications of them having a nuclear bomb is. I'm not you know, privy to all of the information, but I do know what the other side looks like. And I would just caution everyone at home, if this is something that you feel we need to do, think about those boys in the ground and whether or not that is really worth it. And for me, after meeting those people and just having experience after experience, day after day of that warmth, I say no. به شوق بودنت حالا خدا